You're welcome to a broadcast of Covenant Christian Center UK. My name is Pastor Obi Brigwe of Covenant Christian Center UK. We're going to teach through a series today and over the next few weeks on the seed experience. I believe this is the fundamental and foundational principle of the principle of dominion. When God created man, He says, have dominion over all the earth. And through the principle of the seed, God has taught man even this dominion He has called him to. So we'll take you through the process of the dominion principle, which is tied to the seed experience, and practically step by step we'll show you how to get from where you are by the power of the seed even into the place of complete dominion over your environment. You were created to dominate. You were created to rule. You were created to have dominion over the earth. You are God's partner on the earth. And through this principle and the message of the seed, we will show you over the next few weeks on how to dominate your environment. So join us, invite your friends and families and other people to come and watch and experience this teaching so you'll be able to apply practically to the events of your life. God bless you and hope to see you through the series. In Jesus' name, amen. Welcome to this morning's broadcast, and I will take you through this process of the seed experience. I want to read something to you before I go on, something that God prompted me to write, even preparing for this teaching, and I hope you get blessed by it. So the gospel is the power of God unto salvation. It's not a theoretical gospel, it is a miraculous gospel. It is the good news that Jesus Christ has come to restore humanity back to God, and has come to put man back in the place of sonship, has brought grace back to humanity, and has abolished death, and has brought life and immortality to the light. He has promised us abundance, not only on the earth, but all through eternity. God has come to meet man at the point of his needs, and every need is designed to be met. I want to tell you that every need of yours, as long as it's a need, is designed to be met by God. It's not meant to be there lingering on and on. The essence of your need is it's designed to be met by God. And now we have received the gospel and understood its practice and how to enter into the miraculous. Now we will go out as channels to meet the needs of the dying world, to teach people how to fish and to snatch them from the kingdom of darkness. So the gospel of Jesus Christ is not a theoretical gospel. We'll go back to the very beginning, from the creation of the world. Let's go back to Genesis. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. 28. It says, and God blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. You see, God created man and says, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. So, and it says, have dominion. So you can see the principle of dominion was tied to the principle of the seed and multiplication. You know, looking at it from the natural standpoint, for you to have fruit, there must be a seed. So it says, the first thing man heard from God was be fruitful. So it means that man was supposed to go through a process of planting a seed that will generate a fruit. So fruitfulness is a product of a seed. If you have an orange fruit, there must have been an orange seed planted for you to have an orange fruit. So a fruit always comes out of a seed. So that's what God was saying. He said the principle of dominion, of how you have dominion on the earth, is to plant seeds which will cause fruitfulness. And when you take the seeds and eat the fruit of the seed, you now plant the seed again, and that will cause multiplication. Then after the multiplication occurs, then you now enter in the principle of dominion. It's all about the seed from the beginning. If you go to the book of Genesis chapter 8, let's go there and see what happened to Noah when he came from the ark. Genesis chapter 8 verse 22. It says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So what God is saying here is that as long as there is day and night, as long as there is summer and winter, you can see the weather changing. So also the principle of seed time and harvest shall not cease. So your life should be looked at now from this day on as a seed. Everything about you is a seed. God has sent you forth to the earth as a seed to bring about the multiplication of his kingdom even on the earth. So your life, begin to see your life as a seed. Everything you do as a seed. The smile, the way you talk to people, everything you're involved in, your family, your work, everything about you is a seed. See yourself now from today onwards as a seed that God has sent to the earth to manifest his kingdom on the earth. Look at Hannah. Hannah needed a child, but she decided to convert that desire to a seed. She said, Lord, I need a son, and now because of this, I will give you that son as a seed. So the seed for Anna was the son she was asking God for. Look at Abraham. Abraham wanted a son. Abraham was going to be made a father of many nations, and the seed for that was Isaac the son. So God operates from time immemorial by the seed principle. Even Jesus Christ, to save humanity, God had to plant the seed of his son, Jesus Christ, on the earth. Jesus Christ was planted as a seed to save humanity. So it's all about the seed experience. Even to bring forth children to the earth, it is a seed. God has stopped creating de novo. God now says, I have created once, and now the way to have increase, the way to multiply on the earth is by the seed experience. That's why God will not create a new man and a new woman. God has said, I've created man and woman once, and now what will happen is that the man will plant a seed for multiplication of the human race, and that will cause multiplication on the earth. So that's how God operates, and that's how God operates on the earth. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. We'll see what God said. So understand that your life is a seed. Everything you do should be seen from that point of the seed experience. Go to Genesis chapter 1, and it says from verse 11. It says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. So it says every tree now has the seed in itself. So God is saying that for multiplication to take place, I have created the seed, the trees, and I've put the seed of that tree in itself. So the same way with man, he created man and woman, and he's put the seed inside man for multiplication. So where you are right now, for you to get to the next level of your life, what I'm trying to say is that the seed of that thing is inside that place you are right now. God has not left you without a seed. You might think that my life is so chaotic, my life is so destroyed, my life is so distressed. How shall I get to the next level of my life? God has said there is a seed in that situation you are in right now. Look at the people when they were the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Where you are now, the seed for the next level is right in your hand. There's a certain process that you have to take you through to cause a multiplication and an increase. So he said, now bring that thing to me. There's always a seed in where you are now. So you might be thinking, I need to get to the next level. I need to increase my income. I need my family to be better. I need my marriage to increase. God is saying the seed for that next level is where you are now. So we're going to teach you practically in the next few series on how to plant that seed, how to recognize and how to plant that seed in your life. So in the seed experience, there are certain things you have to note. God is the source of all things, of a total and complete supply. God, the Bible says, God ministers seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So he's the source of all things. So the first thing you have to note is that you have to see God as your source. That's the first thing you have to note. No man is your source. Your employer is not your source. Your employer is just a channel through which God meets your needs. The man that gave you is sowed money into your life is not your source. Your family is not your source. Even as a student, your father is not your source. Begin to see them as channels. God is the source of all things. God is your source. See it like that. So anytime you have a challenge, don't look at any man. Run straight to God first. God might decide to use various channels to meet your needs. So see God as your source. I want you today to consecrate your heart and say, God, today, from now on, I will see you as my source of complete supply. I will come to you first. I will run to you first in terms of everything. It might be a relationship. It might be a job. It might be a salary increase you're looking for. It might be just a situation that you are facing right now. Don't run to man first. Go to God as your source of complete supply. God is the source. That's the principle of the seed. God gives seed to the sower and multiplies the seed sown and increase the fruits of your righteousness. So God is the source. So understand that. And God is the one that administers the seed as the source, because we've seen that the seed is what you will use and God will use to take you even to the level you desire in your life. So God is the source. He gives seed to the sower, and once he gives seed to the sower, it's the duty of man to plant the seed on the earth. I want you to follow me closely. God gives the seed, but it's the duty of man to plant the seed on the earth. And what happens when he plants the seed is the duty of man also to water the seed that he has planted. The Bible says that Paul planted as a man, Apollos watered as a man, and it's the duty of God in the seed experience to give the increase, and it's the duty of man to put in the sickle and to reap the harvest. Follow me closely. I said again, it's the duty of God as the source to give you the seed. It's the duty of you as a man to plant the seed and to water the seed. It's the duty of God to multiply the seed, and it's the duty of man to put in the sickle and to reap the harvest. That's the principle of the seed experience. If you understand it simply, you will know your function, how to actually perform and partner with God in causing a realization of every single thing you desire on the earth. Look at it now. A man needs an apple fruit. Let's look at that, for example. What does he do? He plants an apple seed to reap an apple fruit. It's that simple. So what you have today in your hands, the seed for that thing, you should ask God, Father, come to him. I have this need in my life. What is the seed I require to plant for this need to be met? It's as simple as that. Abraham, I want to make you a father of many nations. What is the seed? Isaac is the seed you need to plant to become a father of many nations. Anna, I need a son. Lord, I need a son. What is the seed? She planted the son as the seed that she required. So God starts with a seed in meeting your need. That's what I'm saying. So let's go to the book of Luke chapter 5. It is. Luke chapter 5. Luke chapter 5. This story is a very powerful story. It explains fully how God meets our needs. I want you to follow me closely. By adventure, you're going through something in your life, and follow this story closely, and I believe by the Spirit of God you'll be able to see the next step and the right seed to sow in order to receive your desired harvest. See, and it came to pass as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of God, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two ships standing by the lake. But the fishermen were gone out of them and were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he will thrust a little further from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. Now when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. And Simon answering said unto him, Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when he had done this, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake. That's a very powerful story. Simon, like some of us, had toiled all night and have taken nothing. He had toiled and had labored all night and nothing happened. He's like a man that had a need, that has a need. He has a need and he's struggling to meet those needs. He said, Lord, how am I going to get it? He has tried and has struggled in his power to meet his financial obligations. He has struggled in that marriage relationship to make things work out, but nothing seemed to have worked. He has struggled and tried in various aspects of life, even in his business. It doesn't seem to be working. So Jesus comes and says, look, I am coming now. I want to meet your need. But first of all, I want you to give me your boats. How can you ask me to give me your boats? God, what Jesus is saying, that inside that seed, inside that need, there is a seed in every need. You might have toiled and struggled regarding that particular area of your life, but God is saying there's a seed I want you to meet. I want you, that people around you, I'm sending into your life, even in the midst of your need. I want you to release something to them as a person and to get your needs met. That's what happened here. So he said, Jesus came in and said, look, I need your boat to minister to those people. You can say it's similar to people around you today. Jesus is saying that there are people around you, even in the midst of that struggle, that need your help. There might be people that need emotional help. So forget about focusing about yourself. Inside that situation you're in, look around you for the people that I need. You have something in your hand right now that can meet someone else's need. What Jesus is saying, that give that thing out. Sow that seed, either time, either money, either your emotions, either things that you have with you now. Sow that thing into the next person's life and look to me to meet your need as a person. So your seed is tied up to the people around you. Look around you, there are people in need pressing upon Jesus Christ. People are praying, Lord, I need this thing. And that thing's right in your possession now, even though you have your own need. So what I'm trying to say is that inside your need, there's a seed. So don't look to yourself, inside yourself only. Look around you, forget about your need temporarily, and look around you. Say, Father, how can I meet the needs of the people around me at this moment? I have needs, but I know that through meeting their needs, you yourself will give me the right words, the right actions to take to meet my own needs. That's what happened here. Peter had toiled and toiled. Jesus said, look, Peter, I know you've toiled all night, but I want to meet your need. But first of all, I need the seed to meet your need. Give me your boat. Give me your boat to meet the needs of the people around you. After he had met the needs of the people, he said, Peter, now launch out into the depth and let down your nets. And as Peter did that, the need of Peter was met miraculously. That's what God is going to do in your life today. Just look around you. Say, God, what is the seed you want me to sow? I'll give you an example of a situation that happened in my life not too long ago. Where I work, there were no jobs or anything. My visa had almost expired in that time of the year because I was practicing medicine then. And what happened was that there were no jobs around. So I went to God and said, God, what is the solution to this problem? How am I going to solve this? God said, there is something called the blessing of him that was ready to perish. In the book of Job, he said, the blessing of him that was ready to perish. He says, someone will come into your environment who has a need. Out of what you have, take out of what you have and give it to him, and the blessing of that thing will rest upon you. That will be opening for you to get your job. So I said, okay, Lord, I understand that. I began to meditate on that scripture. I began to pray over it. All of a sudden, someone came into my environment and said, I need some money to renew my visa. I need £200. God said, that is the seed to get your job. I said, okay, Lord, I will do that. I went to my account. I withdrew the last £200 then, and I gave it to him. As I did that, something broke in my spirit. I knew that the job had come. 2 weeks after that, I got a call and said, now we're inviting you for an interview to come and apply, to come and get a job. I went for the interview. I was the least qualified in that interview. The interview didn't go too well as I planned, as I thought it would. And at the end of the interview, they only took 2 people out of 7, and I was the least qualified. When they called my name for the job, the other people were so surprised because they knew I was the least qualified. They said, how can you get this job seeing we are more qualified than you? That was the power of the seed experience. I tell you, don't be too self-focused. Forget about your needs. Look around you. In the midst of that need, there's someone there. You have something in your hand to meet his need. And that is the entry point of Jesus into your life. Sow that seed, plant it as directed by God, and look to God as your source to meet your own need. That is the principle of the seed experience. So you're on assignment. You're on an assignment. Everything about you is a seed. The way you conduct yourself at home is a seed. Everything about you is a seed. Begin to look at your life like that. The way you relate with people, the way you interact with the world, it is a seed in your life. Your job is a seed. Begin to look at it, serving the Lord Jesus Christ with your job, and wait for him to give you the true inheritance you desire. Now let's go on to the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 18 to 24. I want you to see this. It says, wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. It says, husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. It says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. It says, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. It says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing God. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord. You see, whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance. So whatever you do, see it from henceforth. This is the seed that I'm planting as to receive the inheritance from the Lord. You see, for you serve the Lord Jesus Christ. So at work, you're not serving your boss, you're serving Jesus Christ as a Christian. At home, in your family, you're not as a husband, you're not being nice to your wife or kind to your wife or loving your wife for her sake. No, you're doing it for Christ's sake. As a child, you're not honoring your parents for their sakes. No, you're doing it for Christ's sake, because you have been bought with a price. You belong to Christ. So begin to look at it like that. You are planting seeds into Christ Jesus, and looking to Jesus Christ, say, of the Lord, you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Jesus Christ. Begin to look at your life like that from today onwards. The work you're doing in your employer, you're not working for him. No, you're working for Christ Jesus. You are giving it your best as a seed, knowing that God will reward you and open a space for you to take you before kings and before great men. So begin to understand life like that. If you look at Ephesians chapter 6 verse 5, we'll read that it says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of heart, as unto Christ Jesus, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of God, doing the will of God from the heart. So in your work, you're not serving man. As a doctor, as a nurse, as an engineer, you're not serving man. You are meeting the needs of humanity. In so doing, you're serving Jesus Christ. So begin to look at it with singleness of purpose. Begin to look at it with that purpose. It says, knowing that whatsoever good any man doeth, the same shall he receive. Did he say of man? No, he said of the Lord. Begin to see your life like that. The same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And ye masters, do the same unto those that work for you, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also in heaven is watching, and there's no respect of persons with him. So understand life from today onwards. Everything you do, every word you speak, everything you are involved in is for Christ Jesus. You are serving Jesus Christ. So people come and say, this job, I don't like this job. They complain, I'm not paid enough. You're not working to get paid as a Christian. You are serving Jesus Christ, because your true inheritance is not in that job. God will open the rain of heaven and pour you out a blessing as you do that, and give you that which is your own. It says, who that is not faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give him that which is his own? Let's go to Matthew as we round up on this first episode. Let's go to Matthew. I will show you something which is very powerful. Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25. We are from a different breed. We are a chosen generation, a different breed of people as Christians. We don't walk like the world do. Matthew 25:35. It says, then the king shall come and say unto them on the right hand, say, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. What happened here? He said, for when I was hungered, you gave me meat. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it to one of the least of my brethren, you have done it unto me. So Jesus is saying that now I'm not on the earth anymore. I have put people there. People are crying unto me daily for help. People are looking to me daily for help. Now I'm telling you that meeting the needs of those people, you are doing it directly to me. So you begin to see life in a different perspective. Planting the seeds into the lives of people, you are planting the seeds into Christ Jesus. Meeting the needs, doing the job diligently in your work, you are doing it unto Jesus Christ. So when the reward comes, Christ Jesus himself is the one that will give you the reward. So stop looking to man as your source. Stop looking to man as though you are serving man. Everything you are involved in is Christ Jesus. You are doing it as a man. You are loving your wife not because of what she deserves. You are loving her as unto the Lord. As a woman, you are submitting yourself to your husband as unto the Lord. This is how life is. As you're working diligently in your work, you're not doing it for any boss or with eye service. You're doing it as unto the Lord, because there's a reward and an inheritance that God is going to give to you. So when you do it as unto the Lord himself, you look to him and not to man as the one that will give you the reward for those things that you have done on the earth. This is very powerful. It's the principle of life. So remember, God is your source. I remember you have the seed with you right now. And we teach practically now how you plant the seed and look to God for the harvest in our next broadcast. God bless you. I hope you have been blessed, and I'll see you next time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you for watching the broadcast of Covenant Christian Centre UK. Do you live in the South East London area? Why not join us for a great time of fellowship and practical teaching that will help you excel in every area of life and bring solutions, innovation and development to your world. Our service times are Sundays 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Prayer meeting second and last Friday of every month, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Venue Bromley Court Hotel, Bromley Hill, Bromley, BR1 4JD. www.covenantchristiancentre.co.uk